Let's throw some jabs.
The fight starts now!
All right, Sergio, after weeks of seemingly being focused on a fight against Devin Haney, Ryan Garcia has pivoted again. Garcia over the weekend tweeting out that he preferred a fight against Rolly Romero. Romero, of course, a 140-pound title holder, and Garcia has instructed his promoter, Oscar De La Hoya, to make that fight. So, Sergio, I'll ask you this. What is the better fight for Ryan Garcia, Devin Haney or Rolly Romero?
Rolly Romero, because he's not ready. Ryan Garcia is not ready for Devin Haney right now. Devin Haney's been active. He's been fighting the absolute best, from Lomachenko at 135 for undisputed all the way to 140, beating Regis Prograis, one of the best at that junior welterweight division. So right now, Ryan Garcia is not ready. He's been inactive. He's been bouncing from trainer to trainer. You know, he came back nicely in this last win, got the knockout. So that's good. Let's keep that momentum going. Let's keep those knockouts flowing. And of course, we know that he's still a big star. So keep him in the limelight, keep him active. So I like this fight with Rolly Romero. And another thing, he picks up a strap. I mean, it's a hubcap title at 140, but still, you know, a strap is a strap. He can bring that to the table and bargain a better option for him as far as money. You know, he can bring a world title to the negotiation. So I like the fight Romero. Plus, it's a promotable fight. Romero has a big mouth. People like watching him. You know, the press conferences are going to be great. So promotable and pick up a championship strap on the way.
Let me just say this, though. It is not a hubcap title. Like, Romero has the legitimate title.
Who did he beat for that title?
Pounds, but it's a legitimate belt.
Who did he beat for the title?
It doesn't matter. A hubcap title,
Mannix.
A hubcap title, by definition.
Who did he beat? What champion did Rolly Romero beat for that?
So every
title?
Vacant belt is
vacant.
Every vacant belt is all of a sudden not worthy of being called a title. Is that what you're saying? I don't understand.
In order to be a champion, you got to beat a champion. If you pick up a vacant strap,
that's not true. So every fighter who's ever won a vacant strap is not a real title holder. That's what you're saying. No, Romero has the legitimate WBA title at 140 pounds. So if Ryan Garcia beats him, he is going to be a legitimate title holder at 140 pounds. All that being said, I do agree with you, and I have agreed with you, and I have been saying this for most of the last month, that fighting Devin Haney in his next fight would have been a mistake, because I don't think Ryan Garcia had any chance of winning that fight against Devin Haney. You look at where Devin Haney is right now. Devin is a well-oiled machine at this moment. He just came off a win over Regis Prograis that was about as lopsided as you could possibly get. 120-107 on all three scorecards. He knocked down Prograis. He is peaking right now. Whereas Ryan Garcia, even though he knocked down Oscar Duarte, there were plenty of issues that you could find with that performance, most notably that bizarro shoulder roll defense that Garcia employed in those middle rounds. So you can certainly argue that even if it wasn't Romero, getting another fight with Derek James would be better for Ryan Garcia in the long term, going into a fight ultimately with Devin Haney. In Romero, you get the best of both worlds. You get an opponent that on paper is kind of tailor-made for you. Yes, Rolly's dangerous. He's got power. There's no question about that. But he also walks into a lot of shots. I mean, he walked right into that right hand from Gervonta Davis a couple of years ago. And we've seen him in the past expose his chin in ways that he shouldn't, and in ways that Ryan Garcia is sure to take advantage of if they wind up fighting at some point in the spring. And it's another chance. It's a chance to add a world title to your resume. So you get another fight, you get a chance to win a championship, you get a chance to work with your current trainer for one more fight. There really, to me, is no downside or limited downside in taking this fight with Rolly Romero, because if Ryan wins this fight, and if, say, Devin Haney wins an interim fight either at 140 or a catch weight close to 147, that fight between Haney and Garcia in the summer or early fall is going to be so much bigger. So yeah, I am all for Ryan going for a Romero fight before challenging Devin Haney.
And you need to get different style matchups, Chris Mannix. That's another thing. Ryan Garcia not only has been inactive, but he needs to get different looks. You know, he needs to get southpaws, tall fighters, power punchers, fast fighters. I mean, if you look at the resume that Devin Haney's been building, I mean, it's already kind of, you know, headed in one of the best directions that you can actually do for a champion. I mean, from Linares to Jojo Diaz, these are former champions, to Lomachenko, to Kambosos. I mean, wiping up the division at 135, going to 140. That's impressive. That's what you want to keep doing. You got a boxer, you got a puncher, you got a mover, you got experience in all those names. What does Ryan Garcia have? Javier Fortuna? That's about it. So he needs to continue getting the right opponents put in front of him to get that championship experience. He needs to get different style matchups, different, like I said, different tall fighters, shorter fighters, southpaw, left-handers, everything. That's how you get accustomed to getting someone like Devin Haney in front of you. Haney's not going to be the same animal that he was in his last fights. He's getting better and better. He's evolving into different animals. So yeah, he needs to get that experience under his belt in order to be ready for someone and a beast like Devin Haney.
The variable in all this, Sergio, is that Floyd Mayweather has now found his way into the orbit of Ryan Garcia. We saw Mayweather and Garcia recently walking through a mall together, going for a run together. Floyd praising Ryan Garcia as one of the three biggest stars in all of boxing, along with Canelo and Tank Davis. Is that a good thing for Ryan Garcia to have Floyd Mayweather around him in this way?
Look, Devin Haney's had Floyd Mayweather around him. He's had some of the absolute best boxers and trainers around him. It works for Devin Haney because Devin Haney is that kind of sponge. He picks and selects little things that he can pick up from greatness. I don't think Ryan Garcia is meant for that. Not for greatness, but for picking up different things. I just think he's stuck in his ways. He's stuck in what worked for him for so long. Lightning quick hands, that check left hook, that speed, that speedy jab. I don't see him, turning into a mover. I don't see him, that shoulder roll was not for him. We saw him. So if he picks up different things and different intangibles from great trainers or great fighters, I just think it's going to look awkward for him. Devin Haney can pick it up because he's been doing it since he was a kid. So he picks up what he can actually work for him and then throw away the rest, disregard the rest. So it works for Haney. I don't think it'll work for Ryan Garcia. I just think too many chefs in the kitchen, and I hope you get that analogy, inside his head, it's just not going to work for him.
What I like about Garcia being around Mayweather is Mayweather was one of the most disciplined fighters in all of boxing during his time. Maybe the most disciplined guy in boxing, right up there with like Andre Ward and some of these other guys that were singularly focused on becoming great. That's something that Ryan Garcia should try to absorb, because we all know Ryan's had some distractions outside the ring. Mayweather, even though he had distractions in his life, was always completely focused on his craft and completely focused on being the best version of himself at all times. So if Ryan Garcia can pick that up, great. That's going to be a net positive. What I haven't liked in the aftermath of that video surfacing is, we've seen Ryan kind of attack Devin Haney's box office value, so to speak. He's gone after Devin's pay-per-view numbers in the fight against Regis Prograis. Like, don't do that. Like, it's a little too soon in Ryan Garcia's career to be doing that. Yeah, the fight against Tank Davis did a terrific number. No question about that. The gate was excellent. But it's one fight. Floyd Mayweather can do that. And to a certain extent, Tank Davis can do that because they have been selling out venues and doing big numbers on pay-per-view for a long time. Ryan Garcia hasn't really done that as of yet. He's only been headlining one pay-per-view, and that was with Tank Davis. So take in all the boxing knowledge from Floyd Mayweather, but the outside the ring stuff, the approach that I'm bigger than my opponent because I'm more popular than my opponent, that part of it, Sergio, that doesn't sit all that well with me.
Birds of a feather, Mannix. My mom used to have a saying, dime con quién andas y te digo quién eres. Tell me who you hang around with and I'll tell you the type of person you are. So if you want to hang around with a great fighter like Floyd Mayweather, yeah, you want to absorb the greatness, but you're also going to absorb, some of the bad habits. Bad habits like staying up late. Mayweather is like one of these unique specimens where he could stay up all night and train in the morning. I don't know any fighters that can do that. Run at 5 a.m,
Well, Sergio, that's because he doesn't drink. Like, he doesn't drink.
I was about to get there.
Drugs
He
like
doesn't. He
Okay,
doesn't.
yeah.
Drink. He can be around the nightlife without drinking. That's a.
Now you couldn't do that, obviously.
The majority cannot do that because that takes a unique discipline for him not to touch alcohol, to stay up late and still be able to be a championship fighter on the championship level. And he does it night after night, Monday through Friday. That's Floyd Mayweather in the Las Vegas nightlife. I don't think Ryan Garcia, I don't think any fighter can do that. So I just think you pick the good spots that you can pick up from Floyd Mayweather, because there's definitely a lot of bad spots, and only he got away with it because he's that great. Mayweather was that great. He can compartmentalize, the good with the bad. I don't think Ryan Garcia could do that, especially with the issues that he's been having in his personal life as well. I mean, yeah, you got to juggle a lot for a young kid.